I'm Beth from Hanson's Garden Village. We had a really great spring and we're just showing you some of the interesting things that are happening out here this summer. One thing that a lot of people miss in the spring because it's not blooming is our native sand bed. This is just a pile of sand that we've dumped here and just put a lot of the native plants that like it, in drier, sandier conditions. It's always covered in bees and butterflies. And it's just starting to show a lot of color right now. We have our orange Asclepias milkweed, butterfly weed. It's a milkweed. This is one of the showiest native plants that we do have. It really likes well-drained soil, so you really have to have a good spot that isn't going to be too wet. And this one is really important for the monarchs. So we do have some of this still available in pots. We have black-eyed Susans, wild petunias. The liatris is going to start blooming soon here. Asters, which are going to be later in the fall. Asters and goldenrods are very important for the pollinators for later in the fall. Wild bee balm, great for bees. The Tradescantia spiderwort is just finishing blooming. It's a really long bloomer. It does self-seed pretty easily. So to keep this bed maintained, when we do the weeding, I do pull a lot of the little babies out so I don't get overcrowded with that one. This is a native clematis. It's very pretty, really hardy, lots of little white flowers, just starting to bloom. This is a different type of Monarda, spotted bee balm. Spotted mint is what the common name is. It's a Monarda punctata. And it gets more pinkish and very pretty. This is hoary vervain, white yarrow, campanulas that are blooming back here. Those are a really dainty, shorter plant. A lot of times people have a hard time finding native perennials that are shorter. That would be a good option. We have purple prairie clover blooming. That's really popular with the bees as well. Of course, our big common milkweeds. There's a monarch on this one right now. And then a nice low-growing, easy shrub is going to be bearberry. And this we use a lot on lakeshore restorations as well. It's good mat forming. It usually gets a little bit taller. This gets a little more beat up with snow plowing in the early spring. Native baptisias, those are done blooming right now. Fireweed, this you see blooming in ditches along the side of the highway right around now. And then it gets really light, feathery seeds that kind of float away. We also have this shrub, lead plant, Amorpha. It starts purpley and then it kind of gets some orange to it, and it's really interesting. This big one is prairie dock. The flower stems are actually going to get really, really tall. It's related to the cup plant. This is the baptisia. These are the seed heads. It's done blooming. This was a white one. We have wild quinine. That's a really pretty thing. Round-headed bush clover, Lespedeza. Some more black-eyed Susan varieties. Then this big one is the compass plant, and the leaves are oriented on the axis north, south, east, west. And this is just maybe a few years old, but it's gotten huge. I always take a picture of my mom standing next to it. Really important for the birds, so I don't cut it back in the fall because I let the seed heads just naturally be available for the birds. This is a prairie dropseed grass. Grasses and sedges are very important for our ecosystem as well. And this shrub's a sweet fern. We use this a lot for erosion control as well. And then we also have some more black-eyed Susans, and this is a sunflower, or a heliopsis, I think. Yep, that's the heliopsis.